4 Summoners Pact. He's got Green Sun Zenith, and then just a lot of cards that just kind of work.
Right.
I am going to bet that game 1, Joe is actually going to be in some rough shape unless he can get a good Cabal Therapy followed up by a Hymn to Torok right away. And do remember, though, Joe does have Chrome Mox, so he can actually turn 1 Hymn to Torok.
And it looks like Bernardo's going to be on the play here.
Cracking a Verdant Catacombs for a forest. There is only 1 Verdant Catacombs in his deck.
Oh.
So,
yeah, he's 12 lands plus, yeah.
Interestingly, he does have Green Sun Zenith, but no Singleton Dryad Arbor. It's actually kind of a small surprise.
I don't know that it's the accelerant that he's looking for.
I understand. It's just usually just having that option.
Just having it there
is just kind of a usual kind of thing. I would even in a deck like this, I could see it being of good. Wirewood Symbiote, a very, very powerful card.
All right, we're going to see Joe get started here. He's also going to start with the Verdant Catacombs. He's cracking down and is going to end up here with a swamp. It's so weird to see people breaking these for non-dual lands on both sides of the table.
Yeah, and actually for Joe, one of the things that he's aware of is that his opponent could actually just beat him down. Get a groundswell of creatures and beat him down. Cabal Therapy. Now, the proper way to use a Cabal Therapy, you don't try to guess what they've got. Name what you fear.
Right.
Name what you're scared of, and then that's your best shot.
And so we're looking at a Nettle Sentinel, a Forest.
A Priest of Titania.
Is that a second?
Double Priest of Titania.
Okay.
Summoner's Pact, not Trap.
Yeah. So not a bad draw at all.
I think he whiffed there on that. I don't know what he named, but I think that was a whiff.
What would you call if that was you?
Well, it depends what I'm scared of, right? I see Wirewood Symbiote, which indicates elves. On turn 2, I would say probably either Rofalos or Priest of Titania, actually.
Yeah.
And a Glimpse of Nature, that's also a very reasonable one, but I don't think the Glimpse was going to get him yet. I would go for the most powerful accelerant and have that be the thing I would name.
And there's
in for Uno.
Yep.
Take 1. Go to 18.
You got to start somewhere, and that. All right, we can see.
Priest.
Yep, here it comes. All right. So things are kind of shaping up pretty well.
What Joe wants to do here, I think, is either cast a Hymn to Turok, or cast a Cabal Therapy plus Swords to Plowshares, or cast a Bob, Dark Confidant.
Well, he's got the Dark Confidant in hand.
So he's got 1 good line.
He's not going to be able to run the Hymn unless he has a Chrome Mox he's debating on. No, we're going to see...
The choice between casting Dark Confidant and, if he does have, for the sake of argument, a Swords to Plowshares in hand, is whether he thinks that Bernardo can go off next turn.
Well, he's got the Pact and he's got the Sentinel, so things could get out of hand. Still debating.
I go with the Bob here. Yeah. I don't think you're threatened yet.
There he goes. All right.
Okay.
Now, if you have the Hymn there, that's probably the time, right?
It's actually a tough choice. I think I might go with Bob anyway, just because I think you've got at least 1 turn before your opponent gets you. So getting a Bob going 1 turn earlier.
For round 1.
Glimpse. Oh, that wasn't there a second ago.
Nope.
And now things are in real danger for Joe here.
And just it just kind of shows just a little bit,
Nettle Sentinel, draw a card.
Yep.
A Wirewood Symbiote can make a grand total of 4 mana with Priest of Titania now, but it's going to be probably more than that in a moment. It's actually 3 mana because you'd have to recast the Nettle Sentinel to make it.
There's the Pact. So he's going for it. Let's see what. That's kind of the fickle nature of Magic. You have to be good, but then that Glimpse is in his hand. This is a different game right now with the Cabal Therapy. So what's he going to search up here?
It would not be unreasonable to go for a Heritage Druid or an Elvish Visionary.
Yep, there's the Heritage Druid.
Okay.
So not unreasonable at all.
I'd also like to let you know that we're going to be shutting down side events at the end of this round of the Legacy Open. So if you want to get in one last draft, one last winter box, one last commander pod.
I'm gonna tap the priest here for 2 mana, lay the Heritage Druid, unless he has a Elvish Spirit Guide, and then maybe he'll cast the Heritage Druid first.
Nope, here comes the tap.
Priest of Titania taps for 2 mana.
And what's the other card there that he has left? All right, there's the
Heritage
Druid's
draw
down.
a card. 1 green and pool. A 1-drop. Oh, boy, and that was a Nettle Sentinel. Now he's empty of mana. He can make 3 mana with the Heritage Druid, double Nettle Sentinel. He's got another Priest of Titania in his hand. We know it.
Yeah.
There it is. 1 mana left. But he can use that Heritage Druid to make 3 from it.
And this is going to be...
And remember, he also can return a creature to his hand with the Wirewood Symbiote.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 mana total. Cast... Oh, Quirion Ranger. That can return a forest to untap something. He's got 3 mana left. There's 6 mana. Llanowar Elf. Draw a card. He's down to 5 mana.
Looks like another symbiote in his hand now.
There's 8.
And there's a
Wirewood
symbiote.
Symbiote. He's out of elves, but that's okay because he can return 2 elves to his hand. He's got 7 mana remaining. Can untap. Oh, jeez. 6 mana remaining. 9 mana.
Oh no!
Is that a Nettle Sentinel?
Nettle Sentinel.
Oh boy. 8 mana, and he now has triple Sentinel. 8 makes 11. Is that a Visionary? Yeah, it is a Visionary.
Yep.
Draw. Down to 9 mana. Makes 3. Is that Elvish?
Archdruid.
Archdruid. That is a net 0 for mana, so it's 9. Still at 9 mana. Makes that 12 mana.
And another
Nettle Sentinel. Oh, boy. Up to 14 mana now.
He's just rolling full speed ahead.
17. 16 mana.
Draw a card. The elf sleeves are kind of cute, don't you think?
19 mana. Elvish Spirit Guide. Back down to 16. Up to 19 again.
Yep.
I don't know. Okay, Bernardo's in the plus 20 mana category, and Joe is in the shoot himself in the face territory.
Yeah, there's just... I mean, what do you do?
You just wait.
Yep.
Visionary. It's a net of 2 cards. Draw.
So at this point in the game, should Bernardo, for whatever reason, not get there, he certainly has a very lethal table on his side.
And in fact, the only thing that Joe is doing right now, he doesn't have access to Bernardo's deck list.
Mm-hmm.
All that Joe is doing is finding out what's in Bernardo's deck list. Because Joe cannot win here at all from the cards he has in his deck.
No.
If Bernardo just stopped playing, as long as he paid for the Pact of Summoning, the Summoner's Pact, he would not die and Joe would lose.
Right. Oh, there's another glimpse coming down just to make sure. And yeah, so Joe's scouting out the win condition here.
Exactly. That's all that's happening is Joe is waiting to find out how does Bernardo win so that he can be a little bit more prepared for Game 2. And right now they have, I think, agreed by mutual assent that we're going to call Bernardo's mana infinite. It's not actually infinite, but it's effectively infinite, and Joe's going to be like, that's fine, just go, keep going.
Yeah. It is. Good. No, it's mana burn back in this game.
Elves is one of those decks that if you're looking for a more affordable deck, you know, I'm not sure how well you know card prices, but just looking at this, I don't think that there are very many cards that are of real value. There's an Emrakul, which is not particularly expensive. There's 4 Summoners packed, and the Emrakul comes into play. Joe scoops it on up. The 1 Concordant Crossroads I think is good, but probably not even necessary, though I do like it. This is a very affordable deck, and I think it's very competitive.
It is, and you know, and if combo is your thing, it's a very fun deck to put together because it's got that, like you said, innate resiliency. Like if his combo fizzles right there, he's still got a heck of a beatdown.
Absolutely.
Beatdown plan. So we're going to check out our sideboarding.
Now, Joe has 4 Perishes, 4 Wrath of God. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't have any of that. He has Diabolic Edict, and
yeah.
You know, I think he could potentially run Extirpate if he really felt he had a bunch of dead cards, but that's kind of pushing it a little bit. But you never know. If you feel like your cards are particularly dead, running a card like that in there to try to mess with this, that's... Yeah. Now, Bernardo, what did he see? He saw a discard spell,
he saw a
Dark Confidant. So... at this point, he's probably got Joe Bernal, if he doesn't already have Joe's deck scouted, on some version of Dead Guy Ale. And one person asks, why is this called Dead Guy Ale? Well, basically, Team Dead Guy, which was like a classic team from the olden days. Chris Pakula came back for a Grand Prix, hadn't played in a long time. Chris Pakula, also known as the Meddling Mage. If you look at the original art of Meddling Mage, that's Chris Pakula on there. And he got 2nd place with a black-white deck sporting Dark Confidants, discard, and basically the kind of deck you're seeing here from Joe Bernal. Joe mixed this deck a little bit with a black-white token-style shell, using Lingering Souls to kind of, I'll say, jumpstart it.
Right.
Now, Bernardo... So Dead Guy Ale, well, it was called that basically because it was brewed up by this Dead Guy team member, so hence Dead Guy Ale. Bernardo Fonseca, his sideboard, he saw a little bit in there that, you know, indicates a black-white style deck like Dead Guy Ale. I would say he might bring in Thorn of Amethyst just to mess with Joe's responses.
Yeah. And there's nothing really else that he's got. You could make some sort of argument for Fairy Macabre, but not really.
Yeah, I think it's probably just going to be Thorn. Maybe Vengevine if he thinks that Joe has really good answers to him. Because Vengevine is just very good at being a plan B against a deck that stops you from being a combo deck.
Certainly. And so with Joe on the play here, I think he's going to try and get very aggressive.
Actually,
in the hand attack.
I see another option for Joe for the sideboard. He can bring in Enlightened Tutor and use the Enlightened Tutor to tutor up Umezawa's Jite if he gets a fast creature down.
Sure.
So that just means more ways to get Jite. And Jite is actually incredibly effective against elves.
Yeah, those -1/-1 counters. Because, I mean, as you saw, like once he got going, he had so much redundancy, so much resiliency, was great. But those first few turns, those first few elves, kind of the building blocks. And every time you stutter him up, it's going to take that much longer. And Joe actually has a very good answer system with his removal, with his hand disruption. So this match could be much more in-depth and interesting than we saw in Game 1.
Absolutely. Now, some people might think, I mean, we don't know all of Joe's hand, you know? He shouldn't have tapped out for that Dark Confidant. Let's pretend he doesn't tap out. He might be able to disrupt Bernardo a little bit more, but the thing is Bernardo's combo is so resilient that it wouldn't be very much disruption, and Joe didn't see him having the kill yet.
Right, I mean, the Glimpse of Nature was not in hand. And that was a decision that Joe made knowing that there was no Glimpse of Nature. Unfortunately for him, Glimpse of Nature was hovering right on top of the deck.
Yeah, he called it just to try to stop the combo previously, and there it was, like you said, hiding on top. I mean, I actually think that if the Dark Confidant play made him most likely to be able to be in a good position in the subsequent turns. You know, you have to decide, do you want to be good right now or good tomorrow? And he made the decision, I think I want to be good tomorrow, and I think that was probably the right call.
And it looks like we're going to draw our opening hands. I see a Liliana, a Stoneforge Mystic for Joe.
Remember, Joe has 3 main deck Zealous Persecutions. So those are actually very effective against an elf army.
Yeah, -1/-1 is quite a big deal when there's no lords on the table.
The number of lords that Bernardo has in his deck in order to pump his creatures up, he has 2 Elvish Archdruids, and that's it.
That's about it. So
And Bernardo mulligan down to 6.
And that's the danger with combo decks. Sometimes you just don't have the hand you need. You have to be prepared to mulligan to get the hand you want. But in this case, it's also going to make him much more susceptible to the discard outlets that Joe's going to be putting at him. So as a combo player, how do you weigh that balance between, is this hand going to be good enough to win versus do I need to keep some cards back just to not lose the cards that I need?
I mean, I feel like you generally have to err on the side of aggression when it comes to being a combo deck, just because if you've got a bad hand, it's almost like some of those cards aren't there anyway. So if you're playing against a deck that includes card advantage discard, like Hymn to Torok or like Gerard's Verdict or Blightning in more current formats, you just hope they don't have those cards and try to get the good hand.
All right, and we're off.
Turn 1 Verdant Catacombs from Joe versus a Fintorn Elf from Bernardo.
Joe's going to untap. He must be looking for a land. I see a Wasteland in his hand there. It's not going to get him very far. He's going to debate here. And we're going to see a Swamp, cracking that down.
Joe Bernal, 1 life here. I'm going to guess for a Scrubland.
No,
he goes for the basics.
Right,
well, he doesn't know Bernardo's list. He doesn't know if Bernardo has a Wasteland.
Right.
Most of these elf combo decks don't, but he's playing a little safe.
Right.
It's an Edict.
Edict.
Oh, I love that card.
Yep. So we're gonna see this elf take a hike.
What I really like about seeing that Diabolic Edict is that it's not a Chainer's Edict.
Yes.
I don't like Chainer's Edict. Sorry, all of you out there that like your card advantage, but that's a lot of work for your card advantage.
All right, so I think we're going to see Liliana come down next turn. That's going to put Joe in pretty good place here.
And we see another 1-mana play from Bernardo. Elvish Spirit Guide, never mind. Elvish Spirit Guide number 2.
All right,
Elvish Visionary, draw.
That's the Elvish Archdruid.
Oh, Archdruid, okay. Wow. Liliana killing the Archdruid.
Such a good... Oh, there's a Bob on top
Boom.
of that. Now, Liliana has so much play here because it can wreck your singleton creature. It can go for the hand. Like, there's just...
Joe almost knocking over his deck.
All right.
You see... I
think
you say you see Stoneforge Mystic in his hand?
He has a Stoneforge Mystic and a Dark Confidant right now.
He goes for the discard, and I think it's a Wasteland for him, and it's a...
Looks like a
Heritage Druid for his opponent, and then we have a Bob and a Stoneforge Mystic, probably getting Umezawa's Jite.
And it looks like, you're correct, it looks like Joe is holding the Extirpate in his hand as the other card. So
he's got enough dead cards just to get an Extirpate in there, get rid of a Heritage Druid, which stops the massive mana or if he hits a Glimpse, get rid of a Glimpse for later on.
Right. So this is a very good position unless Bernardo can just ratchet up. And being on, I don't know, with the Elvish Spirit Guides down, it's in a pretty tall order position right now.
I don't think Bernardo can come back unless he wins right now.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a rough one for him.
Because, if Jite gets online, then that's just...
Jite plus Liliana, and then a Bob fueling you, and an Extirpate for any weirdness. The Extirpate is super corner case in this moment, but...
It's still super good with what's in the graveyard.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that Heritage Druid is a relevant thing to get rid of. Glimpse. And Bernardo realizes this is the moment. He's got to do for it.
He's got to go. So let's see what he gets. He's gonna tap that guy down for some mana. He's gonna pull another Llanowar Elf. Draw.
He needs a forest and a something. There we go.
There's a forest. And a Heritage Druid.
And
a draw.
And he's gonna be stuck here unless he gets a Elvish Spirit Guide and another one dropper. And there it is.
He sends it back over. Now that wasn't the worst because now at least he has some protection for Liliana.
Absolutely.
so he can keep his Heritage Druid around.
What's going to happen is you're going to see a Stoneforge Mystic pick up an Umezawa's Jite and just tear up that board.
Right. Yeah, there's actually no way he survives this turn with all his creatures, is it? I mean, all his guys are just dead.
Joe might not even kill all of them.
Yeah.
Joe might leave him with something, just so he can keep Liliana around.
No, but he can take Liliana, attack with the Jite, and ping the other two.
But the other guy, he doesn't have to block. He can just take that to the dome and then kill 2 creatures, leaving him with 1 creature.
Yeah, but Liliana kills the other one.
No, I'm saying I don't think you want to lose.
Oh,
Liliana.
yeah, you don't want to lose it. Yeah,
Like,
sure.
I would say he would leave Bernardo with one of these elves.
Well, Bernardo's on 1 card right now. And we're going to see, yeah, oh, maybe. Yeah, let's get rid of that. No weirdness. No variance.
There's a
Elvish
Visionary.
That's a really...
And there we go, Jite, equip, attack.
Smash.
No blocks.
No
He'll
blocks.
take 1, and then immediately just kill your Heritage Druid, and maybe kill something else.
Wait, what's this card do? Oh, that's bad. All right.
For those of you who are just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan. I'm joined here in the booth by Jason Reedy, and you're watching the round 6 of the Star City Games Open Series here of Legacy. It's day 2 in Memphis, and Joe Bernal on the right, Bernardo Fonseca on the left. Bernardo went off really quick last game, and now Joe is just tearing him up this game with Umezawa's Jite. Ooh, and he shows he's got extirpate in there, and just an excellent disruption, plus Liliana to help things out.
Yep. This game is destined to be over here pretty soon. Bernardo's essentially drawing dead, no creatures, no hands, and 3 lands. And now do you feel like he's on the same plan that Joe was last game, just kind of see what your opponent's got?
Yeah, he's learning. He's finding out what's available here from Joe. And what did he get? He got a Batterskull. Now, actually, I'm surprised that Joe still has a Batterskull in here. I know that he has Stoneforge Mystic, but a Batterskull plan is so slow, and by the time it gets going, he's already got the game. I would hazard to say that that's incorrect, that it's in his deck.
He doesn't seem like he has a great many things just to bring in general. I mean, the Diabotic Edict and the Extirpate have come in already.
Yeah, so I mean, you take out this is my plan. I would take out the 1 Batterskull. I would take out the 4 Bitter Blossoms, because they're very slow. It's 5 cards. I would bring in 2 Diabolic Edicts. I would bring in some number of Extirpate, and I would bring in Enlightened Tutor, just to make the Jite become all the more likely to happen.
And during this conversation, the beatdown has commenced.
Extirpate after the draw, knocking out what? I think he probably hit either Glimpse. We'll find out in a second. There's the Glimpse.
There's the Glimpse. Yep.
Boom, 1 Glimpse.
And plus, this is actually going to give Joe a bit of an advantage because he's in game 3. Because now he can see what did he bring in against me. Are there any weird cards that I need to be aware of going into the next game?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I see any weird cards.
Everything looks pretty straightforward. He successfully found all the glimpses.
I don't know if I don't know if I saw any sideboard cards from Bernardo. I don't think I did.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he just left it as is, which I mean, I guess is fine.
There's nothing wrong with that. His sideboard isn't particularly directed at Joe's deck. Bernardo draws, is probably going to say go.
Just doing some math here. 1 to carry the 1. Yeah, that's gonna. Oh.
Gonna cast an Archdruid?
A Zealot maybe? No. Oh, Green Sun for 2.
Green Suns for 2. What do we want to get there with the Green Suns for 2? Visionary, Elvish Visionary would be my guess.
Yeah, get it in, draw a card. Of course, I don't know what he can really hope to draw here because the Liliana is just gonna kick it.
He already had the land in play, I think, so he wants to get a land.
He's kind of deciding here. Yep.
There's the visionary.
And he's going to pass it back over, shuffle up. And Bernardo just kind of drawing things out. And yeah, he gets the land. So I guess that was there. He can't naturally cast anything scary.
The best he can do is get a Viridian Zealot, either with a Green Suns, and then off the Umezawa's Jite, and try to stay alive that way.
And here comes some more damage. The Visionary bites it to the -1/-1 counter, powered up by the artifact. And Bernal's going to send it back over. Now, both of these games have gone relatively quickly, but you have to wonder how much time they're burning for potential Game 3 stalemate. And Batterskull comes down thanks to Stoneforge Mystic.
And Bob shows a card. We're going to see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage. And I think that'll do her. If he pumps all in, I think that's it.
Yep, that's going to do it. And he's completely defenseless there.
Yep, dead.
Dead. Shake hands.
To
Maybe.
Game 3? Okay, to Game 3. There we go.
So are there any sideboarding changes that do you think that Bernardo is going to make now that he knows what's going on with Joe's deck? Because he didn't really see a whole lot of it Game 1.
I mean, it's possible he might bring in Krosan Grip if he thinks that Umezawa's Jite is going to be a critical part of how Joe needs to beat him. I think that would be completely reasonable. 2 Krosan Grips wouldn't interrupt him very much. He's already seen, the Stoneforge Mystics, so he knows that there are going to be other targets for it, and it doesn't interrupt his deck very much to actually do that. And remember, in a deck like this, every time you take out one small piece of the puzzle, the machine works a little less well.
Right.
So maybe a better way to put it is every time you take out a cog in the machine, and it can still work, but even 2 cards can be significant. Conversely, a Jite getting going is a real problem for Bernardo.
That is also very significant, as we saw there. How many creatures did that thing account for? It was at least 5, right?
I believe it killed 3 elves right away, and then at least one other elf, a visionary later. Yeah.
So we're looking at about 23 minutes left in this round, so probably 20 minutes to play Game 3. So time is not really going to be a problem here. I would expect this match is going to finish up just fine.
Joe Bernal is probably, we said this earlier, Ari, when he was in the booth, perhaps the most talented player in the room today. Chicago area player, and he, I believe, got 9th place with a Wolf Run, I want to say not ramp, but the card Kessig Wolf Run in a otherwise basically mono-red beatdown deck not too long ago. Just barely missed tie breaks based on a bad a bad draw decision.
Right.
Didn't work out for him, and
he was in our top 8 yesterday.
Yeah, top 8 yesterday, and he was running Heartless Summoning yesterday. Well on his way to back-to-back top 8s this weekend.
And that's going to put him in the next 2 invitationals, at least. Plus, I believe he already has 1 qualification from the Players Club. And so it looks like he's going to be set for much the rest of the year. That's the thing about it. You can show up, you can have a really good weekend, and you can end up qualified for all kinds of events and then not have to worry about it. So I guess Joe is very happy he made the drive out to Memphis this weekend. So we're taking some time here. We'll calm before the storm.
Right.
Say.
Joe presents.
I'm going to present and cut. Neither player looks particularly excited to be facing this down. Like it seems like each of them is very much aware that the other player can completely ignore them.
Well, I mean, Joe is never doing the ignoring, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, if Joe takes things over, then Bernardo is just kind of lying there helpless.
Right.
You know, so
Well, when the other player gets going, there is very little the other player can do about it.
yeah, that's that. I'll go with that definitely. It's pretty much a situation of who is lying on the ground bleeding, because one of them will be.
And it looks like both players are going to keep 7 here. Nope. Joe's going to send it back.
For those of you who are just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan, joined in the booth here by Jason Reedy. Ari Lax will be joining me in round 7. Next round, we have Joe Bernal on the right, Bernardo Fonseca on the left. Elves versus Dead Guy Ale, and we're going to game 3.
And we've seen a very fast combo and then a very, very strong disruption sweep.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what comes out on top here in game number 3. We have Joe here mulliganing down to 6. And Bernardo looking pretty happy with his hand. Just kind of very confident.
I mean, Bernardo has a lot of draws that can make him win on turn 2.
A double Elvish Visionary last game was even with the disruption that was initially presented, it was still kind of scary. Yeah. All right, Joe's going to send it back over.
And Bernardo opens up.
Take a look at his 6 cards here. Hopefully we'll find something worth battling with. And looks like a swamp extra. Is that a hymn?
I cannot tell yet. Yes, that is a hymn.
And a Liliana. So you know, that's the scary thing if you wonder if turn 2 is too slow.
Yeah.
It's really
And
scratching.
I think that's what he's thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's got a good hand that'll carry him through turns 3 through 4, but no, and he's going to...
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, like let's say you go turn 1, nothing, and you're playing on the draw against Elves. Elves goes, lays some sort of acceleration. You go, and remember, they're on the play. So they can go turn 2, win.
Right.
Let's say that they don't win, and they do some more development, and your play is turn 2 him. That could be awesome, or it could just not get you there.
Yep.
And then they are very, very able to put together a win on turn 3 if they still have a glimpse in their hand.
And Liliana just really isn't that exciting on turn 3 on the draw. Because at that point in time, you have to assume that Bernardo is going to have a couple creatures down, so Liliana is not going to get the one that you really are afraid of.
Yeah, a 3-mana Edict doesn't do very much. It's like -1 on the mana. And a 3-mana Raven's Crime particularly doesn't do very much.
You know, we saw the power of it, you know, when it just kind of enhanced everything else that was going on last game. But on its own, not that impressive. So Joe going down to 5 here, and, you know, the right 5 is still a good 5.
One of the people that is watching out there in the Twitterverse, Soren Lohman, says that he thinks that Bernardo boarded in Verdian Zealot. No, Bernardo did not board that in. He plays it main. That Verdian Zealot is a main deck card. And Joe looking at his 5-er.
Looks like he's going to keep.
I think I saw swords, but I could be deceiving myself there. Turn 1 from Bernardo, once again with his one of Verdant Catacombs in the deck.
It looks like Joe's got Scrubland. I see a Stoneforge Mystic.
I'm actually curious how much testing goes into a deck to get your mana base to 11 Forests, 1 Verdant Catacombs. I mean, it could very well be correct. I have no idea.
Maybe you just need to draw. You have the touch, right? Quarian Ranger coming
Quarian
down.
Ranger.
And, all right, debating on it. All right, so the Scrubland's going to come down. So you have to feel like he has the Swords of Plowshares here.
Second forest.
Looks like an Elvish Visionary is going to hit the table.
Visionary, draw a card.
It's not too explosive, but it's very stable. And we're going to see...
in for one.
In for one. All right. Joe's got a Swamp, which is going to produce Stoneforge Mystic. All right.
We're going to see an Umazawa's Jite go to Joe's hand. Now, Joe might feel safe doing this because he didn't see anything explosive happen. There's no major mana accelerator around the table. But remember, this deck can just push out and use Summoner's Pact, go get a Heritage Druid, cast a Glimpse, start going, and then finish.
And then with the Quirion Ranger's ability to untap something, returning that Forest Dance, so he can essentially be +1 mana already. And did he just send it back over? No.
I don't think so.
No, that can't be what he was doing. Is that a Glimpse?
There's a Glimpse in his hand.
A Glimpse, it looks like another Visionary or a Symbiote. It looks like a Symbiote. So...
And again, we talked about this earlier, about how Bernardo doesn't need to necessarily go off. He can use a Glimpse just to almost go off.
So Glimpse.
Oh, here we go. Let's see what happens.
He's holding a Nettle Sentinel as well. And there he comes, so we're going to draw a card.
Nettle Sentinel. Remember, Quirion Ranger can return a forest if Bernardo doesn't get one.
Is that a Heritage Druid?
Couldn't see.
Pact.
Summoner's Pact.
Now it's a Heritage
if
Druid.
it wasn't a Heritage Druid, it is now.
And there it is. And that was a... you get the feeling that Bernardo could have tried this last turn, but knew that Joe wasn't going to do anything too devastating to him. Took the time to kind of get established and put himself in a position to be much more stable and secure this time. And so Ranger's going to come back.
Okay, Ranger returns a forest. We see that forest now.
And Glimpse is still active, so we're going to see a Heritage Druid probably right here. I guess that would be the perfect thing to do. And there we go.
Heritage Druid, draw a card. Bernardo now has access to 4 mana.
And
sorry, 3 mana. 3 mana.
A Spirit Guide there. It's gonna
tap, tap, tap. 3 green.
All right, here it goes.
I think we're going to see a Wirewood Symbiote get cast.
Looks like he's got...
Oh, he's got another elf. Got another oneer.
Quirion
Ranger. Ouch. That was awesome.
One more person to fill the last standard winner box of the night.
Crows and Grip.
7 more people to
Talk
fill
about
the
gumming
last
up the works right about now.
tonight. So if you want to get in, come see me and we'll get it rolling for you.
2 mana floating. Bernardo makes 5.
I'm going to run it up, and we're going to see that Symbiote.
Or perhaps another elf if he got another reasonable elf, like a... What do we got? Let's find out.
Oh.
Elvish Visionary. Ouch. Ouch, ouch. Down to 3 mana. Draw, draw. Untap the Nettle Sentinel.
Draw 1. Draw 2. Looks like a Llanowar Elf and a Forest. He's already played the land for a turn, so that Forest isn't going to help him out a whole lot.
Down to 2 mana.
Well, I'll take that card, please.
Draw.
And now I can produce an additional 3. And that's what he's going to do.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Since your Magic players, if you sign up for standard winner box number 5, please report to the main event stage. Standard winner box number 5.
Down to 4 mana.
I'm going to see that elf. Draw. And what we got there?
3 mana.
So
Another
another
Quirion Ranger.
So now just all the mana in the world. He's got another Glimpse in his hands.
6 mana.
And there comes the second
Glimpse number
Glimpse.
2, down to 5.
All right, now we're on high speed.
I honestly, there is such a small chance of Bernardo at this point fizzling that if I were Joe, I just wouldn't want to sit like that with my face all sad for that long.
That is the face that elves make. And looks like...
I mean, it is theoretically possible that Bernardo won't just win here, but it is so unlikely that...
yeah, because he's got 2 untaps with the extra Quirion Rangers.
He's got a Symbiote still unused.
And he's also got some number of Elvish Spirit Guides in his hand. There's access to so much mana.
Yeah. So
now here's a line that Joe might be looking at though.
Let's see if you see it. There's a line.
He could hope that this actually fizzles down because right now he only has one Heritage Druid, right? Oh no, I guess he still has the Archdruid though. So is there a way that he can make Bernardo not able to pay for the Summoner's Pact if he does not win here?
Make him.
Like
he can go like this.
If
Booga booga. Woo, woo, over your shoulder. Hey, someone's talking to you.
but that could be the play. Sometimes the play is just a hope.
I mean, what you might actually do is you might, I'm not sure if this is poor sportsmanship or not. Any judges out there listening, you can tweet to @SCG Live and let me know if this is poor sportsmanship. You can just maybe put your head down on the table and take a nap and ask him to tell you when you're done with your turn. And then, then sit up and see what happens.
And the second pact. So
I mean, as long as you're not asleep, I think you're allowed to close your eyes. So
I think snoring would probably constitute being disruptive.
I know you're not allowed to go to sleep. You're not.
So what sideboard card does Joe wish he had in his deck right now?
Oh, actually, one thing that someone reminded me of, you could have a book. I don't know that reading a book is a problem. Because the reason I bring this up is one of my good friends, Jimmy Linville, who's in the awesome band Daniel and the Lion. You can check out his Twitter @AndTheLion. He actually played at Gen Con for the Magic, a bunch of Magic events. The Beat the Band event, if you're familiar with that. What he used to do at Magic events is he would bring a ukulele, and he and his friend, like in Two-Headed Giant tournaments, they would compose music while they were playing the tournaments. So if you were Jimmy Linville, what you'd do right now is you'd pull out your musical instrument and start writing songs. So
we're counting creatures, so that can only mean Regal Force is about to come down.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I forgot there was still a match going on.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of mana, a lot of cards.
And
Bernardo is
maybe counting to make sure he doesn't blow himself out here.
And as you said, Jason, the way that this can go badly is if Bernardo forgets to pay for Pact.
And he's got 2 packs to forget about. I think Joe is keeping it. I thought he was keeping track of record. Now I think he's just doing it to stay awake, keeping track of the mana that's going on over here. And you remember when this deck, was it Berlin?
That was the one where the elves was all over.
Right. It was. Everyone thought it was the secret deck, and it was just the deck in general.
I think that most of the groups that I saw preparing for this event were under the impression that it was not secret, but trying to keep their little innovations secret.
Mm-hmm. And we had players in the top 8 being so kind as to keep track of each other's storm and life count and mana, just so the other player could play a little bit faster.
Yeah. Another thing that you could do if you were Joe right now is you could get your fantasy Oscars picks figured out.
Who do you got?
Actually, for the first time in a really long time looking at the Oscars, have thought to myself, wow, I really don't care who wins Best Picture. I don't remember when I said that last, but oh, look at that, Concordant Crossroads.
And Bernardo just trying to assemble here. Another recount. And there's Emrakul.
Emrakul.
No, that's a good sign.
Okay, I take that back. I want Moneyball to win Best Picture. I take it back. I actually do care. Moneyball can win Best Picture.
Do you care because you like Moneyball, or is it just the only one?
Moneyball was an awesome movie. Maybe one of my favorite sports movies of all time. And if you're a Magic player, I think as a Magic player, Moneyball is a Magic the Gathering movie. Yeah, it's about, baseball. But it's really about Magic as well. At least not really. I shouldn't say it is also about Magic in the sense of how you think about the game and how you need to approach the game. Look at this attack.
I don't think that's attack.
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all Scrooge's.
Concording Crossroads. Bernardo didn't even have to forget.
Yep.
He didn't have an opportunity.
There is no forgetting. And so we see the elves at long last overcome Dead Guy Ale, and it seemed like Joe just was not in very strong position there, having to mulligan to 5 and be on the draw.
Yeah, double mull. Not good times.